Hello, I'm the Anime Viewer 66, and today's story is about a man who has yet to learn what destiny has thrown in front of him, the inbendable and unbreakable human spirit, always looking forward yet still remembering the past. If there's something in the way, then we'll break through it to carve a better future. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tinyan Toppin Gurren Lagann. At the beginning of our story, we find the entirety of the human civilization living underground. They have been living underground for so long, in fact, that they do not know what the surface world is. They think of it as a mere fable, a fairy tale, to never be seen by real humans. But there is one man in this civilization that questions the norm and says that there is a surface world and is 1,000 times better than anything they have in the stinkhole underground. Enter Kamina. Kamina is one of the, if not the, coolest anime characters of all times. He is literally the only character I've ever known of to go up to a giant mecha without any sort of superpowers or anything like that, with nothing but a samurai sword on his back, and basically says, "I'm about to kick this mecha's butt." That takes some guts. And logic? Ha! Kamina don't have no time for no logic. Kick logic out and do the impossible. That's the way he rolls. Kamina is without a doubt a fan favorite, one of the coolest characters in this entire series, being the one that gives the emotional and inspirational speeches, and the one who can kick butt and take names with the best of them. The only thing is, at the beginning of the anime, he is treated pretty much as, well, a two-bit criminal, because he believes that there is a surface world, and when he attempts to try to reach the surface world, he is punished for his quote-unquote crime. Next up is Simon, Kamina's younger brother. Even though they're not technically blood-related, Kamina and Simon are both brothers of the soul. Considering they were both orphans living underground, they sort of formed a relationship of big brother and little brother. Now, Simon is, at the beginning of this anime, I will admit, annoying. He is whiny, weak, and without a doubt one of the most annoying characters in this anime at the beginning. But, and there's a big one here, later on in the series, not even to the second half, like in the middle of the first half, he becomes bloody awesome. Just bloody awesome. And in the second half, oh, you think, it would be like the younger brother finally surpassing the older brother in terms of awesomeness. But I don't want to give away too many spoilers about his character, of course. Simon's job is basically in this little village to dig tunnels to try to find new resources for the village. One day he comes across a tiny mecha and then goes to dig his brother out of jail, basically so he can go show him the mecha. But then, on their way to go see it, a giant mecha falls through the ceiling, showing the entire village that there is indeed a surface world. And who else would be following this giant mecha than none other than our main heroine, Yoko. Now, Yoko happens to be one of my favorite characters, simply because, well, she's awesome. While other people are using mechs to fight mechs, what does she use? A sniper rifle. Now, a lot of people complain that she's only just eye candy and she's just there to show off fan service and all this kind of stuff, but I would disagree with that, because she can kick butt and take names with the best of them, even rivaling Kamina in pure awesomeness. She is one of my favorite characters in this series. So basically, Kamina, Simon, and Yoko all team up to fight this giant mecha using nothing but basically the smaller mecha that Simon found earlier, that turns out to have a lot more power than you might originally have thunk. And this is where the story gets good. They go to the surface world, then finding that there are basically rebel groups of people fighting against the evil creatures known as beastmen. What are beastmen? Well, beastmen are basically the creatures that are there to make sure that humans stay underground and not knowing about the surface world. Any human that comes to the surface world, the beastmen must kill. The beastmen are basically just what they sound like, half human, half beast creatures, and they're controlled by the evil Spiral King. Or is he evil? Well, you'd have to watch the anime and decide for yourself, really. Now, the rest of this anime is basically Kamina and Simon amassing basically an army, getting more mechas to fight on basically taking mechas from their enemies, using them to fight against the quote-unquote bad guys, all leading up to a two-part thing. The first part is what I just said. Them fighting against the Spiral King and the evil Beastman Empire that is trying to eradicate humanity, so humanity must fight back. But the second part, I cannot get into because it would contain massive spoilers. Let's just say there's a time skip in between the first kind of arc and the second arc. The second arc is basically at the beginning. You kind of feel like they went a step backwards because it starts to get really political and you kind of want to put some characters in the face. I'm looking at you, stinking Rossi, you. But despite that, towards the end, or like towards the second half of the second arc, basically, you start to see them kick butt and take names again. And I'm convinced that they saved a grand... Like everything in this anime looks really cool. Like, they used their budget really wisely. But when it came up to that last scene, like, for the last few episodes... Oh my gosh, you would have thought you have died and gone to anime heaven. It is the most epically awesome mecha battle you will ever see in your life. Even if you're not a mecha fan, I guarantee you will love this. In conclusion, the one lesson that I really love about this anime is the undeniable will of humanity. That thing that never to give up and always to move forward. And I know that's kind of a cliche thing we've heard from Disney and superhero shows and all that kind of stuff, but it really does work here, especially since these characters don't only talk the talk, they walk the walk. Okay, all throughout this anime, these characters have been knocked down, pushed down, and every time they get back up. Their very last enemy in the series, I don't want to give away who they are, but I'll go ahead and tell you one thing about them. They don't only want to destroy the humans physically, they want to destroy the humans emotionally. Like, tear away every bit of hope they have. And through all that, the humans basically says, we'll take your punishment and give it back to you tenfold. And so they do. Now, in this anime, they have, without a doubt, some of the coolest cast of characters, and each one are, well, even though some are cookie cutter to a point, they all get sort of unique characteristics that make them all stand out, unlike in certain animes where other characters just blend into the background. This is an anime that is awesome incarnate. I mean, just awesome. And so I give this anime a very, very, very well-deserved 5 stars out of 5. This anime is pure awesomeness. You guys need to check it out. And until next time, always remember, kick logic out and do the impossible. That's the way Team Gurren rolls.